The people don't have to know.
Nah.
I don't. Oh yeah, yeah.
So okay, can we make sure that we're live right now? Because I'm not getting like any notification.
I got you. Yep. Oh wow. Okay. You went live and then it's a 2-minute video, so I'm gonna delete that.
Oh shit, that's our best work yet.
We are live. Let me get a second to actually listen in. See what we can do.
All right. Yeah, I don't think there should be any like. Yeah, we should be like good this time. It's weird because like I don't have like any like it's not showing up that we're live on my end.
Let me check.
Well, just talk real quick, like just say like random things so I can make sure that you're good on top of me and Sol.
Did you know that the main reason why people use running shoes is to run?
Thanks, Walt.
No problem, man. I'm gonna eat probably some matcha cake later. Yeah.
Oh, you stupid, bro. You know why people buy running shoes so they can run?
Yeah. It's a random.
Yeah, you good, man. We sound good on all fronts on my end. I'll keep checking periodically just to make sure that we're golden throughout, but
yeah, we're good.
Green across the board.
Yeah.
And I'm actually coming through this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, give it a sec. Give it a sec.
Yep.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, I heard that too. You want to send me the link to the podcast? Because like again, on my phone, nothing is like coming up.
Yeah.
Same.
I'll put it in the group chat.
Yeah.
Tight.
And we'll tweet that out.
This video is private. How dare you?
What? Is that why?
Is it private?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely why. I got you. I'll put it on public right now.
Gotcha.
Alright. Click on it again. It should be there. Good call, Walt. Good call. I didn't see that.
Yeah, okay. I was trying to figure out like what was
go.
going on.
Yeah. There it is. The man.
Oh, real quick before we actually start, that's a thumbnail you want to use, right?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. I'll pick it up right now.
Hey, I gave me like 10 seconds. I need to look for the charger that's like just like 10 seconds from me because I am using a hotspot.
Damn, Walt, hurry up, man.
3, 4, 5, 6.
I wish we had a camera looking at this.
Yeah, 9, 10, 11. You're pushing it, Walt.
Yeah, man. He lied.
Yeah, that man lied. It's been legit 16 seconds, 17 seconds,
No,
18 seconds. No. You lose, buddy.
Yeah, that was a lie.
I underestimated my fastness.
Yeah, man. You need to get in the gym, man. Get on the treadmill. Get a little faster.
I literally I flinched for a moment. I was like, oh wait, don't fall.
Alright, so
Jesus.
Sorry guys, there's people outside and they be doing
They're playing like the trombone or something.
No, like it's what do you call that? Sync fucking panels when they like screech and shit. I don't know.
Okay, gotcha.
We're live. Anyways, we're live.
Alright, just gonna tweet this out.
same
Yes,
here.
sir.
Returnal.
Returnal. Beautiful. It's looking beautiful.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh my god.
Gorgeous.
Oh, god damn it.
Alright. Then get all the hashtags in there. I'm just writing up something quick on the DualShock Sense Podcast Twitter. Nothing crazy. Returnal. No, PS5. 1,500 tweets in the last hour. PS5. Damn. Alright, we will be starting soon. Sorry, y'all, for the pre-show.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're pretty much good to start now, right?
Yeah, I'm all set on my end.
Yeah, I'm
Everything's
good too.
tweeted out. I fixed the description. Fixed it. Not fixed, but like edited the title, so we're good there. Yeah, ready when you guys are.
Alright, cool. Walt, you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Alright, that's good enough for me. Alright, welcome back, guys, to the 9th episode of the DualShock and Sense Podcast. I am your host, Soul, the connoisseur of anime waifus. With me, as always, I am joined by my two wonderful hosts. I got Walt. How you doing, man?
How you doing, guys? Walter, connoisseur of many things, waifu included. You could put some JRPGs in there.
No, man. You can't.
Yes.
You can't just like listen to my like now famous intro, and say the
Famous?
same
You didn't say it last. You didn't say it last time. What do you mean?
and
You
say
gotta be
and
consistent, Soul.
say, hey, man, come on now.
You gotta be consistent. No, because I heard how you dropped it like 2 episodes ago, and I was like, oh, maybe he doesn't
That's not
know
true.
much about waifus anymore.
That's not true.
Yeah,
I've always
that's
been.
some true stuff.
I've always been the connoisseur. I've always had the fine taste in the anime waifus, man. Come on
Man, this Matt sus. This
I
guy
don't know.
sus.
I don't know. Well, he has a point, man. He has a point. He started off with Persona 5 Strikers with what's her name, Alice.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alice Hiragi?
Yeah.
Oh, dang, you right.
He did say
Damn,
that,
man.
and he's like, yo, she can step on me.
Exactly.
I mean, well, man, you still kind of sus, but I.
Yeah, I'm just messing
We'll get
with
you a
you,
title, man.
I'm just messing with you. Go ahead, man.
I mean, no, that was it.
Macho.
We'll get you a title, bro.
Macho, what's going on with you, man?
How's it going, everybody? I'm excited. Got those Friday feelings. Not the sad ones, the happy ones. It's Friday, baby. Let's get it. Yeah, it's the King of Kingdom Hearts and the Final Fantasy fanatic. I'm excited. It's been a really good week. A busy week, but a really good week. Let's have some fun.
Definitely. And as always, we are going to start off the podcast like we always do, talking about what games we've been playing this week. But before we get into that, please go ahead and toss us a like. That will definitely help us out a bunch. Consider subscribing to the channel. And yeah, man, we got a pretty fun show planned for you guys today. So let's get into it and talk about the games that we've been playing. So for me personally, Walt, man, you're gonna like this, man. It's the same thing as last week. I've been surprisingly getting more so than I originally planned. Dark Souls 3, it's got its hooks into me, man. I can't stop playing it.
It's a beautiful game.
Yeah, I can't stop playing it, man. It's just that classic Dark Souls from software hook that it's just like I didn't plan on playing it as much as I am right now, but it's got me. So I beat Pontiff Sullivan.
Oh God.
Yeah, he actually wasn't too bad. Like I beat him on like my 4th attempt, something around the close to that area. But he's like a pretty like he's a serious boss, man. Like I would argue he's probably tougher than like 90% of the bosses in Demon Souls alone. He
I
was
mean,
fun.
Demon Souls never. Granted, I haven't played it because my current predicament. But Demon Souls, I've been looking at gameplay of the bosses, and it doesn't seem to be one of the more harder games that they've produced. Honestly, after playing Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Sekiro, it's like Demon Souls is like it's like a tutorial.
Yeah, you'll be fine with Demon Souls. Like the true, in my opinion at least, the true difficulty with Demon Souls lied with the areas. Like the areas are the real challenge to get through. Um, especially 5 too, but we won't talk about that. The bot there's probably like I would say maybe 3 bosses in that entire game that are like legit challenges, but even then they're nothing compared to like the Bloodborne and like some of the Dark Souls 3 bosses I've fought so far. Um, but yeah, so I beat Pontiff Sullivan and and then last night actually, who was probably the toughest boss I've fought thus far was Aldrich, Devourer of Gods. Um, he has this one, like he wouldn't be that bad if he didn't have this arrow volley ability. So like Matcha, listen to this. This guy, once you get him down to like half health, he has this second phase where he has this ability where he can shoot like the this basically like barrage of arrows into the sky, and it literally lasts like a goddamn minute, dude. So like you're running around the arena trying to dodge these arrows, and if they hit you they do a ton of damage. And then
It's
granted
like
you're
100 arrows.
yeah, so and granted, like you're wasting all your stamina trying to like get away from these arrows, so it just sucks, man. Because like the arena isn't that big, you don't have a lot of room to run around in, and it's just like you're going to get hit. So like that would literally kill me. Like he himself wasn't that bad, but whenever he did that, especially 2 times in a row, I was like, I'm dead. Like I can't dodge this.
Wait, don't
So
you have a shield though in that game?
yeah, but it's not like it doesn't mean like you're impervious to like damage all like 100% of the time. And then like
Okay, so
that
it's like you can still take splash damage from any attacks, but it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah, gotcha.
And also I think for that fight I was doing two-handed stuff, so like I just put my shield to the side and wasn't using it. Um so yeah, he was definitely tough. He's probably the one that I died to the most so far in the game. Well, I'm interested to hear what you think about this. And granted, I'm not like I'm probably like halfway into the game, right? So like I haven't seen everything that the game has to offer so far, but I feel like location wise, I'm not too like, and this is probably a like a not a fair comparison. I'm not completely like blown away by them or like in love with them. Like a lot of them has been like catacombs, caves, caverns, like the
Right,
classic
right.
forests, the usual Dark Souls swamps that they love to do. It
Hmm.
wasn't until like the Irithyll of the Boreal Valley that it was like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. That was like the first area in the game where I was like, okay, this is like this place feels distinct and unique from any other location we've been to yet. And then of course Honor Orlando was cool to see. But besides those 2 locations, like I haven't really felt like any of the areas have really been doing it for me. I don't know if you feel the same way or what do you think about that?
So in my case, the first game from FromSoft that I played was Bloodborne, and that was like my introduction to their own world building and their design and art and all this stuff, and I fell in love with it. Uh, I think with Dark Souls 3, I believe a lot of the areas are like you're like revisiting them
Yeah, yeah.
from like previous games, and it's classic fantasy like D&D locations. You got your catacombs with your skeletons, you have your like burial grounds with those things that make your health like deplete and you can't get it up again. I think the magic of that game falls more in, I think, in the bosses and how different they are, and the lore itself. Because Dark Souls 3 is essentially like the end of quote unquote an era. Because
Yeah.
I mean, with the story, not that I'm an expert, I'm not Bati Vidya by any means,
Yeah.
but the story is very much you're trying to prevent like the end of the world in some way or form. So they're not per se that like special. The locations are not that special. It's all decrepit. It's all falling apart, and you're revisiting the origins of the game. So it's like very old school, simple design. You know, not that it's bad, but it is not. It doesn't stand out. Not like Bloodborne. You know, it's a nightmare. It's macabre. You have all this gothic setting. It's different. It's distorted. There's like buildings on the side of the wall, like Inception. You know, it's different.
Yeah.
It's like Sekiro. A lot of people don't like Sekiro in terms of location because it's just, you know, just your typical quote unquote Japanese setting. You know, what is it? The like ancient feudal era. So I don't blame you. I think I don't know if you fought optional bosses as much.
Yeah, I fought the old Demon King too in the smoldering
okay.
lake, and like that area is like as well, just kind of like a cavern. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think the game very much focuses on giving you a hard time, and design wise, the locations, although beautiful, they're pretty simple. But I think they focus more on like the enemies that are in each area because they're so unique in like every different section of the game.
Yeah.
I think the point that where you are right now, further in, there are some areas that will stand out much more than the rest of the game. I don't want to get too into it in case I spoil anything.
Right.
I think that what makes Dark Souls 3 stand out more in terms of design, it's the DLC. Because the DLC, both was Ashes of Ariandel and the Ring City. Oh, so I think those are some of the best locations that FromSoft has ever done. And design-wise, difficulty, it's a snow area like the Boreal Valley or the Irithyll Valley. It's gorgeous, but I mean, I agree to a certain extent.
I've heard. Go ahead.
It's very typical, it's fantasy. Bloodborne, it was a one of its kind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Because I definitely heard that too, and like I have the God, they have like a specific name for the Dark Souls 3 version that I have, but it's the version that has all the DLC and all that stuff too. So yeah, I'll probably get to the DLC eventually, but I've already been to,
For sure.
I think it's called Arendelle. I already went there accidentally, so like yeah, I definitely saw that it's like it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That makes a lot of sense. You guys talking about that as far as like my perspective on the Souls series, because one of the things that frustrates me the most in any game, not just Dark Souls, would be the environment fighting you as much as the enemies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that just leaves no room for just like a breather, and that's where like when I played Dark Souls 3, I think I got pretty far into it. But on top of just like the frame rate always dipping on PS4, and I was like, all right, I'm done. But with Bloodborne and even Sekiro, I feel like there's like a much better balance of the environment sort of fighting you, but also giving you room to breathe. But then the enemies are challenging enough for you to stay on your toes.
Yeah,
definitely.
I also Bloodborne and Sekiro they're designed around speed, and reflexes. Dark Souls is a much more methodical and much more like take your time with each fight in each area, which there's no breather. But when you do find a bonfire, oh my God, you can just you drop your controller and you can just take a moment because you feel good about yourself. You feel good about.
I feel like another one of my complaints is that this will probably be a plus to some people, and I don't know, in some ways I guess it is a plus for me as well. But I feel like the bonfires in Dark Souls 3 are a lot more like plentiful, or like they're coming a lot quicker between one another than like what I played, from Bloodborne at least, or from what I've
Yeah.
heard of other Dark Souls games. So like, yeah, I don't know, but not
I mean,
necessarily like a gripe, but just something I've noticed.
no, yeah, Dark Souls. The philosophy behind Dark Souls is also, I think, it's very focused on co-op as well, and like how they would make it accessible and easy for people to join their friends. Where Bloodborne, as asinine as it was, their system of multiplayer, the game essentially is based around. I think it's one of the most difficult games that FromSoft has done, and I still think it's the most difficult. I don't think Sekiro beats it by difficulty. Bloodborne, I think they took it literally when they meant nightmare. It's a freaking nightmare of a game when you beat it for the first time, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So yeah, man, like, yeah, just the areas has been the biggest thing that I've noticed, especially like comparing it obviously to Yarnum and all those
Oh, for
locations
sure.
there, and then like even Demon Souls, like Tower of Latria is like absolutely like just like a spectacle, like just a treat for the eyes. Like I love that location, even though it scares me half to death, particularly the Prison of Hope. Um, it's just so gorgeous to look at, and then the Shrine of Storms as well. I really love that area. Um, but yeah, that's just something that I've kind of been meh about. But then like I said, once you go to a place like Erytho Laboreal Valley, you're like, okay, from software, they definitely they still got it. They know what they're doing.
And
Um,
and I'm not gonna talk about the boss fight itself, but there's a boss called the Nameless King.
yeah, I
Um,
know who he is.
when you reach that area, that's one of the best areas the game offers. Like in terms of like uniqueness, design, environment, it's unique. It's very beautiful. It's a great run for sure.
Dope. Um,
Where's Elden Ring?
so yeah, that's pretty much done it for me. Um, Jesus Christ. Don't look at the screen right there. Um, so yeah, and side note, I just downloaded Infamous First Light yesterday. Not really much to say about it. Well, okay, I guess I'll say I think I'm liking it already more than Second Son because like um, just like
Better.
all of these, like I haven't gotten too much into the story yet, but there's already like within the world there's so much more going on, it feels like. And story wise it feels like I just like the fact that we're not like 100% beholden to Seattle. Like some story segments are in Curtain K, I think it's called, which offers like a nice little like visual change of pace since the original game was 100% located in Seattle, so which gets kind of boring because like the place is kind of small. So yeah, I'm liking it so far. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Macho, what about you, man?
Yeah, so since the last time we had a podcast, I've been actually playing quite a bit. I picked up Avengers and I finished through that story, and it was good for what it was. I got it on a discount, so I'm not like fuming about like if about like the story being like all right. And but the DLC is actually a lot of fun. The Kate DLC is a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward towards playing the Hawkeye DLC that released, and plus all the Black Panther stuff that's coming out at the end of in the fall or
Yes.
something like that. Um, so I've been finishing that, and then once I got back home from visiting my fiance at her place, uh, I've been really just diving deep into Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and I actually
The best.
finished it last night.
The best.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm a huge Pirates of the Caribbean fan. Like it's one of my top two, top three movie franchises of all time. Absolutely love it. So the fact that we got like a really good pirate game is awesome. It makes me wish that there was more of this. At least of this style where it's kind of like you're an assassin but also like a pirate. Like I just love what they did with Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. that ending still gets me, man. It
Yeah.
definitely had me tearing up at the end.
Yeah, it's
When
good stuff.
when he leaves on his ship on his way
Yeah,
to
it's and he sees his daughter and like and then you learn like what happens to like his wife, quote unquote, after like all this time. It's really sad stuff, and then it's really cool to kind of see like him, or at least Edward Kenway, be like from where he was, and then to kind of see him grow throughout, and then have these people kind of direct him to be have like more of a noble cause and live for something. It's really cool. I will say that Assassin's Creed 4 right now is my favorite Assassin's Creed game that I've
There we
been
got it.
playing.
there we go.
It's so good. It's so good. It's like the movement is just so precise and it's oh man.
And
It's
the
such a great
Taino.
assassin. Yeah, the Taino assassin. I was hyped on that. I was like, yo, no way. They got my Boricua ancestors in this.
Oh man.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
It was
man.
awesome. But yeah, I finished it last night, and the next game for May, the next Assassin's Creed game for May is going to be Assassin's Creed Rogue. Never played it, so it's gonna be my first time.
Interesting.
Good luck.
Did you guys
Yeah.
play it?
Have mercy
it's-
on your soul, man.
It's one of the few that I haven't played.
Really?
Yeah, I just haven't. It's not that I don't like Shay. It's just that I don't know. I think it was the timing back when I found out about it. I was still like between like Black Flag and like the Ezio trilogy still. I'm like, I don't know. It didn't stand out to me, so I didn't even bother picking it up. I
Yeah,
think
because that came out
only-
the exact same time as like Black Flag, I think.
Yeah, and I think afterwards came Unity, or before that, which Rogue and Unity, I think they have some story. I don't even remember.
It's a dumb connection.
But yeah,
It's a
is
really,
it? I don't remember what it was. But yeah,
I won't spoil it for Macho, but it's a dumb connection.
Yeah.
Between that and Unity?
Yeah, because they came out the same year,
Gotcha.
so they're like, oh,
Yeah,
let's
but I mean,
let's have a cute little connection to tie these two games together. I was like,
Oh, okay.
get out of
Okay.
here.
But
So
it's
it's
not a
probably
bad
something
game by
probably
any
something in
means.
my new character like connection then.
I won't
Yeah, I mean,
spoil
I
it.
don't. Yeah, it's not a bad game by any means. I have seen gameplay and I have seen some like people talk about it. It's the biggest, what makes it unique is the fact that you are an assassin turned, Templar. That's like the whole premise. Like that's how they get you. Like with when they advertised it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was too busy afterwards playing Syndicate. But yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited because I actually booted up Rogue last night to kind of like fix all the PC settings, make sure I had everything I wanted in it. And I noticed
yeah.
like right when you said like right when like it focused like on the Templar kind of storyline, it makes sure you know that right away. But like one of the first logos you see is the Templar logo before it gets to the main menu, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh okay. But yeah, man, I love Edward Kenway. That's why it sucks to learn what happens to him afterwards.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
like you learn this like in the novels, but like how like he gets murdered by betrayal and stuff like that. Even though he basically rises up in the ranks and becomes a master assassin in London and brings up the Brotherhood and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So-
he changed history forever. I mean,
Yes.
to the point where his grandson would later become one of the most renowned assassins in the 13 colonies. As much as that game, has its controversies and it lagged a lot, Connor did do great things, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. No, he did. I think he was a pretty good protagonist. Not my favorite, but he was definitely worth like watching through. But this one, like, you can tell like the stark difference between Assassin's Creed 3 and 4 is crazy.
Oh
The
yeah,
movement, like the animations, the way the
environment
gameplay.
itself.
Yeah, like it has. I was just thinking about this the other day. It has the best of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and Revelations, which is the movement and the speed and the way you kill, your assassins, and then the open world gameplay loop of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It has like the best of both worlds in there, and it has like an identity with the pirate stuff. So it from there I was like, wow, this is like one of the most fun ones I've been replaying, and it still holds up to this day.
For sure. Hmm. I can't wait until you play Syndicate. I want to hear your thoughts about that later on when you play it. But
Yeah, that's I think when am I playing that? I actually have a schedule to make sure that I'm keeping up with all this stuff. That's in August, yeah. Syndicate's in
Gotcha.
August.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha. Sweet.
yeah, it's Rogue for May, and then when I'm away from home, bring my PS5, so I'm gonna end up playing a little bit of Control, I think, and Gravity Rush
Nice.
2.
Nice.
Oof.
That's a good one.
Beautiful games.
Yeah, that's a good one for sure. Yeah, I'm really enjoying hearing like your sort of like in 2021 your thoughts of the AC series in general and like how it's held up or hasn't, held up is really interesting because I haven't played those games in probably since they've come out. So I'm gonna be really interested specifically to hear what you think about Unity when that comes up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll be
dude,
a
'cause
good one.
I keep seeing gameplay videos of Unity, and it looks like it's so much fun.
I think honestly Unity, like I have a lot of issues with that game, like specifically I think it's like the least interesting story, and like
Agreed.
Arno is like one of the most, like he just feels like another like an attempt to do Ezio again, which didn't work for me. um but
Mm.
like those major and the modern day they just completely like threw away. But those like gripes aside, I truly believe that Unity has the best gameplay in the series. But that's
Oh, I
that's
like that.
that's just me. It also has without a doubt the toughest combat in the series as well. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, so I'm
That's interesting to
interested.
hear. Okay.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear what you think. Um, so yeah, and that's it for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cool, cool, cool. Well, what about you, man?
Well, in the spirit of Resident Evil 8 coming out pretty soon, I purchased Revelations 1 and 2. I re-downloaded 2 Remake, and I started 3 Remake. That I haven't beaten it. The biggest gripe that people have with it is that it's short. From what I hear, when it first came out, it felt more of a DLC than it felt like an actual game. Um, I honestly don't care. I got it on sale, and I love the characters that are in it. I love Jill Valentine. She's one of my all-time favorites in the Resident Evil franchise. Um, I honestly think I hope that they do a bit better with her character from here on out in terms of like letting us know what the hell is going on. Because in the original franchise, she went from 3 to and you play 5, like you play everything up until 5, and there's this weird evolution of her that it feels like a like the movies. It honestly feels like the movies, and the movies adapted the games, and it feels like the games tried to do what the movies did. Um, Aside from that, mostly I've been playing that. I I've been taking a break from Outriders, not because I'm tired of it, but because it's gotten to the point where difficulty spiked so hard, and I'm too prideful to lower the tier of the world. So I'm like taking my time, taking a breather, and then I'll get back to it and try to complete the missions that I have to complete. I've been doing Ring Fit Adventure on my Switch, trying to get some exercise in.
Oh,
That's a great game. That's a great
It's
game.
really good. It honestly, it surprised me because for so long I never even thought of it. I was like, oh my god, the gym, because the gym around here is like pretty bad at like hygiene, and I was like, it's so hard to like look for motivation at my home just on my own. I need something, and I was like, wait, I have a Switch. I can buy Ring Fit Adventure and try that, and it has been a blast. And it's like it feels like a JRPG at times, like with like
Hmm.
the leveling up of attack and defense, the items you can use, the turn-based combat. Honestly, it's amazing. It's like it's pretty long, and I'm gonna loop it. I'm gonna be looping. I want to do that until I feel like I've achieved maximum human performance.
It's a great game. It's awesome.
It's really good. Aside from that, honestly, just Resident Evil, and more Resident Evil, and I can't wait for the demo. I played the demo last week. That's one thing. Oh my god!
Ooh, talk about that.
Let me talk about that. Okay, I was very tense because I was like, I got 30 minutes. I need to do as much as I can and take in as much as I can. And first thing, I stood for like a minute just still because the environment, it is so beautiful yet so dreadful at the same time. It's a ghost town, but at the same time you know it as something's looming around the corner and literally everywhere. It gives me Resident Evil 4 mixed with Resident Evil 7 vibes, because Resident Evil 7, you know, with the first person and the like small corners and corridors, but then substitute that for a larger area and just it gives me Las Plagas vibes. The village that you arrive first in Resident Evil 4, it literally feels like that. The enemies, I don't know what the hell is going on. It feels like I'm playing Underworld, the game. It's like a battle
awesome.
between vampires and lichens, and I love it. I'm here for it. I love Underworld. Like, as much as people think it's a trashy franchise and the writing, or I don't care. I love vampires versus werewolves. I don't like Twilight.
Same.
He had to make sure he had to let in.
Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. No sparkles here.
no sparkles here, man. If you're a vampire,
Hey man, how would you know that, man?
let's just say I had a girlfriend back then. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It was a nice date,
Gotcha.
right? It was a girlfriend's imaginary. It's all right, right?
Interesting. Interesting.
I prefer stepping on me over sparkles. Okay, and in this
man.
game, we're getting that. Okay?
Listen. The werewolves in Twilight, I don't care what anybody says. They're pretty dope.
They're dope. No, I mean, hey. As much as the writing is weird and the direction is weird of the movies themselves, I haven't read the books, but like, it's not a bad premise. It's just the execution is so odd. But when it comes to this demo, man, let me tell you, I left off. So in this demo, there's a section where you're in a room with the villagers, the remaining villagers, right? And one of them is hurt. And, you know, basic horror logic, he probably will turn. Essentially, he turns. He kills everyone in the room. But his daughter is like, nah, I'm going to pull this shotgun, I'm going to blast you. He killed his own father in front of me. I'm like, yo, she got the cojones. And as soon as she gets near me, that's not the end of the demo, but she gets near me, she's like, we have to get out of here. Boom, my 30 minutes are up. And I'm like, yeah, you can't be serious. Because I spent so long just exploring the village, just looking at like little details, the carvings, and like the decoration. I looked at the castle, the gates, the burial ground, like the cemetery.
You can't play it again. You gotta make a new account.
I was like, dang it. And then my internet was like all ass all day. I was like, I can't do anything anymore. I'll wait 6 days, I guess. And today's the day, baby. Today's Castle Day. Today, last week was Lycan. This week is Vampire. And I cannot wait. Because the trailers, that castle, honestly looks like one of the best environments that any Resident Evil game is about to have. Because it's so big.
It looks really cool.
It looks really cool. It's so grand. It's so ancient but modern. Because there's machinations. Have you seen those trailers? There's like an underground like area with like elevators and like, oh, I can't wait for that game. But
I've been avoiding like all the covers for it as much as I can, because I was hyped on playing the demo, but I was like, nah, I can wait a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's not like we're that far away from it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. I couldn't handle. I couldn't wait. I had to do it. I had to get it. And let me tell you, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna be like 2 hours just looking at everything, and then I'll proceed with the story. Oh. And the enemies, so far, no joke. They're no joke. It's not your, 4 or 5 bullets to the head, he's dead. No, these bros are moving Bloodborne style. They're dodging and weaving, and they're like, I'm gonna kill you. And it's like, oh, Jesus. But yeah, it's been Resident Evil week for me. With
Dope, man. I love
with
Resident
not
Evil so
much.
much. I'm happy to hear that from you.
Yeah, man, I love the series. I've played all of them except for Veronica and Zero and Revelations 1.
Oh,
So I'm excited to...
you don't need to play Veronica. Don't play Veronica.
No? Okay. All right. All right.
Like if you really like Jill, not Jill. If you really like Claire as a character, because Claire is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I
That's the
love
reason why I
Claire.
play Veronica. Yeah, if you like Claire, then definitely give it a go. But as far as like a Resident Evil game, it's like it ranks low for me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in terms of characters, some of my least favorite are in 6, just because they're introduced in that entry and they're like pretty not interesting. They're just cookie like cutouts from
Yeah.
like previous fucking side characters. But yeah, it's just been Resident Evil week for me, and it's gonna keep being that until RE8 comes out.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
definitely,
man.
definitely. Nice. All right. So, yeah, let's get into the podcast proper and let's talk about some of these topics. Cause Macho, PlayStation was talking this week.
They
Right?
were. They they finally took the duct tape off of the mouth and started yapping.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I never thought I'd see the day, man. That's crazy. Um, so first, let's talk about these Returnal previews, man. So we know that Returnal is coming out April 30th. They had preview embargoes for everything up until the first two biomes that you could show off. That was on Wednesday. And then we know that reviews are coming out on the 29th, one day before the actual release.
Oh, that's confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
They're giving, I mean, they gave out codes on Tuesday, I believe, so they're giving reviewers like a lot of time, which is always reassuring to get through these games, because you don't ever want the situation of getting a game code maybe 2 days before the release and having to do a review in that time window. So that's something that Sony's always been pretty good at, is giving reviewers like definitely sufficient amount of time to actually play and review these games. Um, but I just kind of want to go around the horn and hear you guys' thoughts on some of the extended gameplay that we've seen, people's thoughts on the game overall, the sort of overwhelmingly positive impressions that we've seen about Returnal. What have you guys been seeing, or what's like your sort of like biggest takeaways from everything you guys have been hearing?
Mostly, so not so much hearing, but on as I was watching those first, what was it, like 40 minutes or whatnot of the game, 45 minutes. Dude, when I mentioned about the trailer, the first thing I mentioned was how the enemies felt like they were part of the environment and how vibrant they were and how like you could distinguish each one from each other, and they actually felt different. There's this one, to make my point, there's this one section of the gameplay. I don't know if it's a side boss or just a big enemy, but essentially whenever he would claw at you or like try to hit you, you would see like a string of tentacles like in the back,
Yeah.
like red tentacles.
Yeah.
Dude, that looked rad. Like, just
Yeah.
I can't wait to just see the rest of the game and see how they play with like design and colors and the mute. Dude, that OST, I hope it keeps slapping.
That's
I
that's
hope it, I
that's like, so like to that point, that's probably like one of my biggest takeaways is the implementation of the 3D audio. Because like I was watching God, what's his name? Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Co Carnage. I was watching him stream the game a little bit, and he got to this area that was so reminiscent of Control, just like walking into this room and just like this absolutely silent room, and just seeing this weird blob in the center of the room like levitating in the air, and like it's not attacking you, it barely even notices that you're there. You shoot it, and the ball is kind of like taking, not necessarily taking damage, but like you can see the damage that your doing to the orb, and then it's like quickly putting itself back together, and it's just like throbbing as well. So it's like this living, breathing thing, but like again, it's not attacking you. It's not doing anything. So it's so reminiscent of Control in that way. But like once he got into that room and started shooting at it, and once it started putting itself back together, the noises that it was making, it's just like even just listening it through my phone, I'm just like, oh my god, dude, the way that this game sounds is absolutely immaculate. I cannot wait to listen to it with like a legit pair of headphones. So that was definitely like one of my biggest takeaways, and then obviously the DualSense, like, since Astrobot and Demon Souls to a lesser extent, like those have been the two games that have like really utilized the DualSense, and yeah, like I was particularly like, games like Hitman 3 came out that were cross-gen, but like I was never expecting those games to like truly take advantage of the controller. But Returnal and Ratchet were always the two games I was like, okay, like yeah, it's gonna be a while. The gap from Demon Souls to Returnal would be long, but those would be the two titles that would kind of like make people remember, oh yeah, the DualSense is actually like really fucking cool. So I'm glad to see that. Yeah, for sure. It's like they're definitely Housemarque is definitely making or taking advantage of the controller because like, for instance, the raindrops. We've all heard about that. And as well as the sort of like alt fires that you can do with different weapons. If you hold down the trigger halfway down, then it activates one version of how you can fire your gun, and then when you press it all the way down, like for instance, you could have like a rapid fire on a pistol, for instance, and it will vary from gun to gun, and I don't know, I really really love that stuff. So yeah, those
Absolutely.
yeah, go ahead.
It gives you diversity in how you approach each fight, and because you don't have to be worrying if they have to really take advantage of the DualSense, because how you mentioned and this not only gives you an opportunity to play like with different types of guns, but you don't have to be switching like to the inventory to skill, like, oh, now I want this skill activated. No, just by using your DualSense in different ways, you can have different skills and like shoot in different ways. And the gameplay itself, maybe it's an odd comparison, but the pacing, the quickness of the combat,
It's intense,
it looks
man.
like a third person Doom Eternal. It looks like you're playing.
Yeah.
You can't stay still.
Exactly.
You cannot relax, and that's very roguelike. That aspect, the enemies when they shoot, I just can't help and think of Fury and like Enter the Gungeon. It's the roguelike aspects of it. They're mind blowing of how mostly biggest thing. If the OST matches like the biomes, or if it's the same one, make sure that it matches, because that's my big thing. You'll be looping a lot. You'll be dying a lot. Make sure that I'm having a good time as I loop. Don't make it a drag. Don't make it a slog. Make it entertaining. You can do anything with the controller. You can do anything with the ways that you can attack enemies. But if the loop aspect is not entertaining at all, then it's gonna be like a one hit, like for a day. It'll be a hit for a day, and then people will get tired of it real quick. I hope that doesn't happen. I doubt it, because Housemarque is like going crazy with this game. It's amazing on all fronts so far, but it's just a matter of the end product itself. But yeah. What about you, Macho? What do you think?
Yeah, I echo most of what you guys are saying. Actually, it's the thing is with Returnal for me is that I'm really excited about like what Housemarque is doing with it, because they're not just stretching their stride, right? That they're going full out. They want to make sure that they not only hit a mile, they hit 2 miles with this game. And I feel like the DualSense is like one of those prominent features for me that has me super excited just to eventually play it, whether it's day one or it's sometime down the line. It's gonna be really hard to avoid getting this game day one, picking it up, and it's mostly just due to my situation that's going on where I'm gonna be out of state. I'm gonna be with family, so picking up a new game when you're like around family, you might as well just wait to be home the next weekend, because you're not going to get any gaming done. But
Yeah.
it looks like I'm in love with the enemy designs. I'm in love with just the movement of it. But Walt, when you said that it's kind of like has like Doom Eternal aspects, that kind of had me a little worried because
What do you mean?
I like Doom Eternal, but
Yeah.
it's one of those games where I pick up, play through it, and I liked it, but I'm not going back to it at all.
Oh no, for
Um,
sure. And when I compare, it's more of the pacing and how you have to be quick on your feet. Because in Doom Eternal,
Yeah.
if you sleep for just a second, you're gonna get messed up. You're
Yeah,
gonna
and like
die instantly.
yeah,
You
to
know?
Walt's point, like I feel like that's where like the comparison ends because like I totally agree. Like
Yeah, that's the only thing.
gameplay wise, it's so fast paced and intense. Like there's no cover system for a reason. They want you constantly
Yeah.
on the move. They don't want you to breathe. You're constantly going to be like reacting to things and whatnot. But in my opinion at least, there's so much more going on in terms of
Oh yeah. It's a
the
very unique game. It's a very unique blend of things. It's a very unique blend, I
yeah,
think.
definitely. It's just this weird, beautiful mesh of like Alien, Metroid, Prometheus, and like
Yes.
Control almost.
Oh, I love it.
And just I've been seeing things about like the exploration stuff as well. How they've designed the map where it's like one of those classic Metroid 3D maps, and like they have this really cool thing where on your mini map, your main like critical path is highlighted through like almost like a square. So like on your map, okay, if I go through the doors that have squares, then that's continuing the main path, the main story. If I look on my map and I see doors that have triangles, that's side content stuff. So like I was just seeing people like just going off the beaten path and accidentally falling into like challenge rooms or going into these weird side rooms that have you have to kind of look around for like upgrades or whatever. There's like side bosses and
Mm.
I don't know. And just going off the beaten path and finding truly weird stuff like that orb that I was talking about. There's lots of like lore implications of like, okay, what happened to this society? How did they die out? You can almost like Tomb Raider style. There's these like glyphs or like obelisks that you can read to find out more about this alien civilization. But like you have to like you obviously don't know the language, so like you're kind of like learning about the language piece by piece. It's just like little things like that in terms of like both the exploration and the combat that seems really really cool. The platforming segments as well, right? Like this is to Walt's point, how you're always on the move, and
Mm-hmm.
they kind of help ensure that by making these areas vertical. You have a dash, you have a grappling hook. All these things make sure like kind of uh, helps accentuate that you're going to always be on the move, that you're not just staying in one place, and that's really really cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
I'm like super into like what they're doing with it because once someone said it's like Hades meshed with like the identity of aliens and Prometheus, I was like that I'm in for that. I want that. That sounds super cool. And that's what it kind of gave off the vibe anyways, but we never really got a whole lot of detail into kind of like its roguelike elements until the past couple weeks where or at least players are actually talking about it,
Yeah.
or reviewers rather. And again, it's super. I feel like I can really get into that gameplay hook because while Hades was challenging and it was a lot of fun, that gameplay hook had me synced into it. It was the first like roguelike game that actually beat the story in and put at least like over 40 hours into. So Returnal seems like it's gonna be like that triple A production of a roguelike mixed with like mixed with a whole different genres like you guys were saying. And but yeah, that was the one thing that I was worried about was like if you're gonna be like I don't know if there's like no like really good flow to its getting abilities and then going from level to level and then you feel like you're progressing, then I'm gonna probably pick up and drop it. But I from what it seems like what people are saying is not the case and that they're doing really good stuff with it. On top of the DualSense features, like
Yeah.
that I've been wanting another PS5 game that can take advantage of the DualSense since Astrobot. And when I'm sure you guys saw that clip of like, I think it was Blessing that put it up, where it was raining and you could hear like the taps in the DualSense controller.
Yeah, just like Astrobot.
Yeah, that's immersive stuff that I want in these PS5 games.
Yeah,
And I mean,
definitely.
and to Soul's point, that aspect of the game letting you know, if you go through here, Lord, before I continue, you accidentally step into like the main area, and you just continue with the story, and it doesn't give you the option to go back and explore. I feel
Yeah.
like more games should do that, and I'm glad that Housemarque like thought about that because it happens way too much, and I feel like it should be a design choice that should be thought about more. Like I don't know, it's
Yeah, that's a good point because I was gonna say that like typically I don't like games doing that because like just let me explore, like let me find, let me clumsily sort of awkwardly find my way around these worlds. But at the same time, as you just said, yeah, it's annoying when you accidentally continue through the main path when you want to just explore and do side stuff. So yeah,
right, because it's
yeah,
like it's very similar to how you're playing Dark Souls 3, and Dark Souls 3 does that a lot, where
yeah,
it doesn't tell
definitely,
you where to go, never
exactly.
tells you where to go. You just go. And I missed Deacons of the Deep because I just went into the Abyss Watchers and kept going, and I missed it until my second playthrough.
Wow.
Like I never fought that boss until my second playthrough. So like, uh, but FromSoft is a whole other monster in that regard. They never tell you what to do.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Returnal at least is telling you, uh, we have a lot more to offer, so don't go here. Take your time. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Um, what have you guys been seeing anything about the story as well? These, cause like there's like these pretty, like that's another thing I'm really fascinated to learn about is particularly not only like the aliens story and like what happened to them, what ended up happening to them, but also Celine as well. Like this weird thing about her house showing up in the on the planet Atropos, like why it's there, and how it goes into like first person is also really really interesting. And people are apparently digging it. That they at least want to know more. That they want to find out like what is actually going on here. Um, what do you guys think about that stuff?
I think that's one part of that I'm gonna absolutely avoid for now because obviously as much gameplay as I'm watching, I'm glad that it's a game that is a roguelike, and if there's a story to be seen, I'll be able to avoid it because you can distinguish at least first person, third person. If they're distinguishing that, like if big key moments are going to be shown in first person or at least in a different setting that's not the alien world, I'll avoid it at all cost. I really wanted like this game to blow me away when I get a PS5 eventually. Um, I don't want to find out more about it now and not picking it up because I've seen enough of it. I do think when you mentioned the house, it's funny because you just said a house, this house that appears, and I'm thinking about the house and control, how they call it the house, or like the main house,
Yeah,
and
the
I'm
oldest
like,
house.
huh. Yeah, the oldest house. And what if this oldest house is actually Celine's house? I don't know. I'm really, I'm really interested in because it can go so many ways. But oftentimes, Occam's razor. Sometimes the simplest solution is the right one. Maybe it's so simple we're not even thinking about it. Um, I don't. I really. I. If I'm being honest, I have no idea where they might go with that because there's so many ways. There's so many ways. I don't know. I really don't know. What do you think, Macho?
I'm hoping they nail the bits of story you're gonna get between every death and kind of just the intrigue of it all, because obviously it's a full on mystery, right? And in order to unlock this mystery, you have to, it seems dire, just reach the end. But I think you get more context if you're dying. So I would like to see how that loops into each other as far as like getting those bits of story nuggets and then keeping on playing, going through like the biomes in the game. But from what I see itself, I'm interested because just the premise alone is actually really cool. Where it's like I forgot what the comparison that that someone made, where instead of being invaded by aliens, you're invading their world.
Ooh,
and
I like
there's
that.
like there's this whole like storyline attached as far as how you got there, why you see your dead body in places, which is also pretty cool. It's like a multiplayer connection to it too, where you
Yeah,
see other
yeah.
players' dead bodies. That's really cool. I like that. And just kind of like where that all leads. I just hope they pull it off, and I hope that that there's like a really satisfying climax to it, and also maybe room for a sequel. That
That's
could be really cool.
that's what I was gonna
Question.
touch. Well, really
Oh,
quick.
sorry. Because
Go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. No, no, no.
Oh, okay.
Man, this game is amazing.
Oh, okay. That's actually what I was gonna ask you guys. Next was sales wise. How do you guys think this game is gonna do? Because like, in my opinion, like, yeah, I was worried about it, but I feel like coming at like if this game came out like next year, for instance, or if it even came out last year, I would have been more worried about it. But I think the fact that uh wait, what the fuck? Can you guys hear that?
What?
I think it was my controller. All right. Anyway, um, like now I'm like I feel a little bit better because of how dry it's been this year that I feel like people are just like clamoring and hungry for like the next thing, like you know what I mean, like the next thing to play. That's why I obviously Hitman 3 was a great game, but like it did way better than Hitman 1 and 2 because of primarily the time that it came out. It came out in a time where people were hungry for things to play on their PS5 or just to play in general. So I really think that more than anything else, the time period that this game is releasing in is going to really be in its benefit. But
I
again,
agree.
it's that question of the price that if people are willing to pay that $70, which I think with these previews, I think they have convinced a lot of people that okay, this game is definitely worth $70. But I don't know. Do you guys feel differently about the potential of this game doing well?
No, I mean I don't have any hesitation. I think it's gonna do really, really well. Especially with the previews that people are saying. People are still coming off of the Hades hype, which is super valid. It just won Game of the Year at Dice.
Yeah,
A bunch of other on top of other awards. And along with that, it's another. I get it, right? It's another third person action game from Sony. That's kind of like
but it's so
the
different than what
people.
they've done as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like it's like that's what I was gonna say. It's like the template of what people like to say, right? But this is doing so much more with it,
Yeah,
and just kind of like mixing all these different genres makes it super interesting. And I agree with you. Like they're selling this game because a couple weeks ago, if you told me I was buying Returnal day one or at least close to release date, I would have been like, no, I think I'll wait for a little bit. I'll wait for it to go on sale. But like, I'm telling you, it's gonna be hard for me to stay off the impulse to buy it, not buy it day one,
yeah,
because these previews are selling it to me, and I think it's like a mix. And the price tag, as far as $70, I can get why it's contentious with people because not everybody can just go out and just spend $70 like that. You gotta look at all these different factors, but I really, really do believe that they justified their price here with the production value and with I think the DualSense features really it just add so much more to the experience that you're gonna be like, yeah, $70 is gonna be okay for me.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it'll be then in this case, unless I slept on a title, but I think this would be like the first official big title that will take advantage of DualSense. Astrobot, but it came with the system. I don't count Astrobot. Astrobot was like
No, you got to count it,
like
man.
a sample.
You got to
Here's a
count it, man.
sample. Yeah, but it wasn't. It's not a main title, and you know what I mean. So, you know what I mean. It's not a. It's not $70.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what I
No,
mean.
no,
What I
no
mean.
Astrobot slander, man.
No, I mean when I played it, man. I had a good time. Oh wait, like the fact
Yeah,
that
I was saying, wait, hold on, Walt.
Yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
go no GameStop. What are you
Hold
talking
up,
about?
hold up.
if there even was one in Puerto Rico, we don't got GameStop here. Am I right? Am I right?
You guys got KB toys over there, right?
We only have Walmart.
Okay, gotcha.
Got GameStopa. Got GameStopa.
Oh, right.
GameStop parada de juegos. No, like The thing is, I was sleeping on this title when it was first announced. I honestly was unimpressed when I saw like the first teaser for it. I was like,
I
oh
agree,
yeah,
me
whatever.
too.
Like I didn't even pay attention, right? And like it having this much, not even hype, just like pedigree behind it, like the way that it's being produced, like it looks so high quality. It is so high quality. What Housemarque has done with it, what the gameplay that we got the last week, I'm like, if it doesn't do well, then I'm gonna be surprised. Like, why? I really would want to know why.
Because it's gonna be
As
too
big as-
hard.
Yeah, like it.
That's
I
why.
remember people. I remember people returning Bloodborne because it was too hard. I remember that. But I don't know. Oh, do you imagine if would they do that with Returnal? Do you think they would do that?
What?
Do you think people would like do a mass returning because it's too hard?
I mean, there's already people. I mean, people say anything on Twitter, right? But there's already people being like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna pick it up because it's challenging. I just want to chill."
They can sleep. They can just sleep. We'll stay awake here. We'll stay awake with Returnal. I can't.
Like
I can't wait to
I
hear
get
what
the
you guys think of it.
I get the concern about it, but I don't know. I think it's just it appeals different gamers. So if you want the challenge, you're probably gonna find it in this game, and I feel like it has to be challenging.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, with that style
And you
of
mentioned
gameplay, yeah.
how
Yeah.
you said that Celine sees her body. Is that like did they mention how that's a connection to like other players? Because I
I'm not
saw
sure.
that more as like since it's a loop and a roguelike, every time you die, she just sees her body from trying again.
Yeah, so
Well, I think that's story connection, but like seeing other dead bodies from players, I think it's more of a gameplay thing.
so
Got it.
my understanding is that like I'm not too sure about the story connection, but in terms of other players, you could see essentially. And I actually don't know if this is what you're talking about, but you can see where other players died, and then you can choose to either take on the enemy that or like quote unquote avenge them, which will basically be like, okay, you take on the enemy that killed them, and then you get like this massive reward for doing so. So
Interesting.
yeah,
Okay,
there's that
Joe,
element as well.
that's very similar to Neo. The difference is Neo, you don't fight the monster that killed the player. You fight the
Fight the
player
player,
itself.
yeah.
It's Revenant.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I'm excited for that. Yeah,
yeah,
nothing but good things, honestly.
yeah.
Nothing but good
So
things.
like to wrap this up, yeah, I'm excited for Housemarque because obviously like this is in terms of scope and scale, this is bigger than anything that they've ever done before, and like I don't know how long ago was it, maybe a couple of years or whatever. Their future was kind of uncertain. The games that they made, they came out and said that hey, like these games aren't really like viable. No one is buying these games. There was even a point that they were saying, hey, we might have to make a mobile game to kind of like keep the lights on in the building. So to go from that point to now making this absolutely insane uh, you know, sort of PlayStation quality, bigger budget, sort of game alongside PlayStation is, I don't know, not necessarily like a redemption story, but it's a nice story nonetheless. I'm really happy for them. Um,
Yeah, I really hope that Sony acquires Housemarque
yeah, that'd
after
be cool.
this.
But the game's got to do well, man. It's got to do well for that to happen, I
Sure.
guess. So
For
yeah,
sure.
man, that's Returnal, man. I think we're all really really excited for it. Um, so next, let's touch on this PS the PlayStation Plus Video Pass thing. That was sort of leaked by the PlayStation Poland site on when was it? Wednesday, I think. Yeah, so it was leaked. It was leaked then, and then immediately taken down. So like we knew, okay, yeah, it's real. Um, so essentially, do you guys have the details for this?
Could you pull them on, Macho? I'm looking at other things that I might want to talk about later.
Yeah, yeah, I have it up.
Okay.
So yeah, basically what is like they're I think the reason they said was for their testing in Poland is because they were more receptive to like watching and doing that sort of streaming content on PlayStation, so that's why they kind of like settled there first
Okay.
to kind of like test it out. So it comes with obviously a lot of like the Sony movies you expect to see that they produce, like Venom, Baby Driver. I think one of them was Zombieland, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a testing phase right now. As nothing's really confirmed whether they're going to reach other regions. But right now, I guess to just kind of see if like what's the retention rate for people that are using PS Plus and accessing these movies and TV shows. I think is Community one of them? Yeah, they have all 6 seasons of Community on there.
Okay.
So yeah, so they're doing some testing more or less. Nothing's really confirmed yet, but it's exciting to kind of see this if this is like an extra benefit. Who knows if it's going to cost more or if it's just going to be added to PS Plus. That's really like uncertain at this point. But there's also no like avenue or window if they are going to be extending this to other places. But yeah, so it's really kind of gist of it. It's pretty bare bones and kind of simple right then and there. It's just like they're saying, hey, yeah, we're testing it and we'll see where we're gonna go from here.
Yeah. I don't know, like, if I would, like, really consider this, like, because, yeah, like you said, this is seemingly just, like, a test that they're doing. I don't know, because we've heard Jim Ryan said that they are planning, like, a counterpunch to Game Pass. I don't think that this is that, per se. I don't know if you feel differently, but I
No, I agree with you.
yeah. But yeah, like obviously like Sony does have, their Sony Pictures division, and then of course they have Funimation, Crunchyroll pending that they could always leverage to, a sort of bigger benefit into PS Plus to make it attractive, because those are things that, Microsoft doesn't have. So like it's smart if they do want to do, some sort of bigger counterpunch to Game Pass, and I feel like this is a start. But yeah, for me, like I don't really have any complaints. Like, more benefits to a subscription I'm already subscribed to is like something I'll always welcome. Um, yeah, like if I pay what, like $10 a month to get a free PS5 game, a free PS4 game, and like Venom on the side, then like sure, whatever. I guess I'll take it.
Yeah, I think it's more of just like you said, it's like a sure, why not kind of thing.
Yeah,
On top of just what you have. And plus, it's also an answer to why they shut down like the video store that they had up
yeah,
a couple months ago. So this is like a nice option for people that I guess do want to use video, watch movies and TV shows on their PlayStation. This is another avenue, but I don't really see people choosing this over like Netflix or Disney Plus or HBO. But then again, you don't really have to choose between these services. You can kind of just get them all and watch whatever you want.
right.
So
Yeah, definitely.
This literally just screams, like when I first read it, literally out loud, I was like, sure, why not? I mean, it really, I have no gripes with it. To be fair, sure. I mean, I'm all for it. If they do it, if they do like different packages, like what if they do like a package with PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Video, and then there'll be like the ultimate package with whatever their counter would be to Game Pass, and then you can get PlayStation Plus, the new and improved service, and then PlayStation Video. I get it; it's still a test, so it might not even happen. But I mean, yeah, sure, why not? We could even get some Sony originals, some PlayStation originals. Oh, what would that look like? Oh, you can get a maybe Uncharted. Maybe HBO is like, oh, never mind. Let's just put it on video. I don't fucking know. With the Last of Us series, I don't freaking know. I really have no idea what they might do with this. I'm just like, yeah, sure, sure, go ahead. I mean, more power to you. Maybe there's people that can't afford a subscription with for PlayStation Plus and Netflix, and they just choose this.
Yeah,
that's a good point actually, because they just struck a deal with Disney Plus to put out the Spider-Man movies, and I think they did the same thing with Netflix. So who's to say they won't put their Spider-Man content on PlayStation and be like, yeah, this is where you get all the Spider-Man stuff. We got the games, we got the movies. and so on and
This
so
gives
forth.
them by doing a video pass, they already have a product that they can pitch and say, hey, why don't we just put it here and make it an exclusive here? And then you just see like shows being taken out of like Hulu and Netflix and then put on Video Pass. It has to be crazy successful for that to happen. But mind you, it's still a cool thought.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, I guess just kind of like a wait and see approach with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not, I feel like it's not going to move the needle based on like
yeah,
how we're kind of percepting it, really.
yeah, definitely. All right, so now let's talk about let's talk about this Firewalk and PlayStation's sort of partnership that they're doing. This came out yesterday, so like, it's funny that this I feel like this entire week was just like PlayStation was like, I mean, really from Monday, they were just like, yeah, let's talk every single day, which is
They're like,
definitely
Oprah, you got good news, you got good
Yeah,
news, you
man.
got good
Good
news.
news.
yeah, man.
They had those tweets scheduled.
Yeah, man. So they announced yesterday actually that Hermen Hulst, man, he announced that PlayStation has been partnering with this team made up of former just a bevy of industry talent from people who have worked on games like Destiny, Call of Duty. um God, the list is blank. I'm blanking on the list, but like Apex as well. I think Titanfall, just a bunch of like like modern
Mind you,
day.
just with Destiny and Call of Duty, you already the multiplayer aspect. It's there's some ambition there. There's
Yeah,
ambition.
yeah. So yeah, just a bunch of like former Bungie devs. I think some Halo devs as well. Branching off to create this new studio. They formed in 2018, I believe, but they just officially announced the studio. But anyway, PlayStation is partnering with them to help with their first sort of game as a studio, and it's a triple A multiplayer new IP game that apparently Hermen Hulst has already been playing since they have been working together for a number of years already. So it's nice to know that it's in a playable state. But I'm gonna get some quotes while you guys broadly, like, what are your initial surface level thoughts about PlayStation sort of working on a or helping with a indie studio with a new game.
I'm excited. First of all, hear me out. I'm not a multiplayer guy. Right now, currently, it's hard for me to get into multiplayer, just because I have people. I'm not a lonely boy. The thing is, throughout the years, I've lost a bit more patience when it comes to, like interacting with online communities, and just toxicity is in so many places. I hear these news and I hear veterans, I hear Bungie people, I hear Halo people, I hear Call of Duty, I hear veterans, I hear this slew of just talented people, and I hear that they're partnering with Sony. I am begging, I am hoping, I am praying that this truly is not a bomb. Like, I really hope this succeeds, and I hope that whatever they attempt, it truly is next gen. This sounds like it's going to be the first official next true generation experience of a multiplayer game.
Well, what kind of game do you think it's gonna be?
That's the thing, because my mind is very blending different games or ideas, or like this game but better, or like this game but different. Honestly, I didn't even something as simple as Destruction All Stars. I never had thought of that. That's twisted metal, but it has some twist here and there. Mindless. Whatever the execution might be, it's a pretty unique idea. I never thought of it. So honestly, I'm really hoping it's not cookie cutter. I'm really hoping it's more in the realms of the philosophy that Bungie had with Destiny, and that it's not a Call of Duty approach where you have your campaign, you have your multiplayer, and that's it. And not even campaign, like a Spec Ops mode, you can do something on the side. No, I really hope it's purely multiplayer, like Destiny approach, Like it's a live service. I'm hoping for this because if they're going big, like go all the way. Go all the way and make it something that'll last until the PlayStation 6. I don't know. Make it something that really stands out. That's what I'm hoping. It's ambitious as hell because it sounds like they're bringing in the big guns. I hope they do like bring in the big guns. But
yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be like a first-person shooter more or less, and
Yeah, definitely.
this coupled with like I think it was PlayStation UK that tweeted out like a SOCOM love tweet.
I don't think it's that.
Has people?
It's-
How's people? Huh?
Oh, go ahead.
No, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just like that. I don't think it's that.
No, I don't think so either. But it has people guessing, kind of talking to see like, ooh, is it SOCOM? Is it not? Well, no, I think it's gonna be completely original.
Yeah, 'cause they
but it'd
did
be
say new
interesting if they
IP.
did go that route.
Yeah, they did say
Yeah,
new IP
yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
So it'll be
If it's a
interesting
new
to see what they
IP,
do with it.
yeah, and first person shooter that can go so many ways. That you can do so many approaches with a first person shooter. You don't have to do the typical Marine versus Soviet Union. You don't please make it. I very much prefer more sci-fi Destiny approach than I do a freaking ground warfare humans versus humans. Like make it unique, man. I'm just like I'm exhausted. I'm fatigued of so many Call of Duty like cookie cutter approaches at a multiplayer game. Like I really, even as much as I love Virus and have a blast with it, it's Gears. It's just more Gears. But it does have that sci-fi touch. So if you're gonna go in some aspects traditional with your approach of a multiplayer game, put some spice into it. You know, put some adobo on that shit. Put good stuff.
With the creators at the helm, it sounds like it's going to be at least something to look forward to.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then so like an interesting quote from the man himself, Hermen Hulst. He was talking about the strategic partnership with Firewalk on gamesindustry.biz, and they were kind of touching on like, hey, this is kind of like a departure for Sony, right? Like you guys are pretty much known, or your wheelhouse is in these single player narrative driven action adventure games like The Last of Us, Uncharted, God of War, Horizon, etc., etc. And to that point, he had this to say, quote unquote, I think that the games that we make are as distinct and diverse as they can be. From Sackboy to Astrobot to Dreams to these kinds of games that you're referring to, like The Last of Us, Part 2, and Ghost of Tsushima. And you can bet that we will carry on making these games, but they are the heart and soul of what we do here at PlayStation Studios. But at the same time, we are just as committed to making these quality experiences as we are to experimentation and to coming up with fresh ideas. So yeah, I think that like, I don't think it's a direct sort of, like nudge nudge wink wink to this whole concern of PlayStation resting on their laurels or just making the same games over and over again. But like, I don't know, it's I guess reassuring to hear that like, hey, we are actively out there. I mean, even Jim Ryan said that we are quietly investing in more exclusives for PS5, more so than ever before. So I guess it's reassuring to hear that like, yeah, they are, actively going out there experimenting. The Jade Raymond thing is obviously proof of that, and that they're definitely going out there trying new things, and even a multiplayer game, which is something you won't really expect from PlayStation, but they're out there just trying some new stuff, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I've been wanting for the longest time. Like, I don't care what you're saying. No, that's a lie. I care what you're saying, but I just care at least that you say something at least to kind of like give us like a little bit of a carrot on the stick kind of thing. Because right now because before it was just like, nah, just have faith. I'm like, okay, fine, but like, come on, man, give me something. Give me something.
This ain't church. This is business.
Yeah, no, it's reassuring, like more or less that, yeah, like they are working some diverse stuff, and there's a lot to look forward to with PS5. So
I just
I'm
think,
happy. I'm happy they finally came out and said something.
I just think that like for instance, like Microsoft, like they have like a lot of like leaks. I feel like a lot of their stuff gets leaked, so it's always like yeah, like it always seems like they have like a ton of stuff like in the works, and like PlayStation, like for the most part, I feel like they keep a lot of things like under wraps. Like for instance, this thing has been going on for 2 years, and we haven't heard anything about it since now, right? So like,
Hmm.
I don't know. That just makes me think of like all these things that they have, under the works that we don't know about, that they're just keeping really close to the chest, and not ready to really talk about. And they're probably hearing all this stuff about them being complacent and not taking risks, or just doing you know um big blockbusters or whatever, and they're probably just like yeah, kind of like biting their tongue. They're like, God damn it, dude! If only they knew. um
Yeah, like these stupid guys. These stupid
Probably.
No, I totally get like get that too. It's just yeah, it's just nice again to, even if it's something as like a nudge nudge wink wink, as you're not really addressing what people are saying, but you're still saying something just to kind of like shut everybody up.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's cool. I like that.
Yeah,
That's fine with me.
definitely. And I guess this kind of ties into the PS Store reversal, the close. Them going back on.
Whoa, what are you doing,
on.
man? What are you doing?
I mean, he sounds like a seal over there clapping his hands, man.
Yeah.
Um, so like yeah, so like they announced right off the bat, man. Start of the week, they announced which first of all, let's comment on that. PlayStation rarely, I feel like, if ever, announces news on a Monday. It's usually Tuesday that they announce stuff. So that was really refreshing that they were like, okay, let's immediately start off the week with this, which was pretty cool. But yeah, they Jim Ryan, a blog post by Jim Ryan himself. What?
Whoa!
Right? Seeing his name up there was like, okay, Jim.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a
Macho,
minute.
he heard Macho.
Yeah,
He heard
man.
Macho.
I think he did, man. I think he did. I think he was
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah, so he
Fine.
he,
He's
he
like, he
wrote.
was like, this Boricua, I'll dress him. I'll dress him.
So he went on the blog post and basically said like, hey, we messed up with this decision. Um, so
Yeah, they did.
obviously the PSP store will still be closed as originally planned, but the PS3 and the Vita store are still will remain open for the foreseeable future. So yeah, I mean, I guess this is kind of what we've been talking about. Xbox is definitely, will give credit where credit is due, is that they've definitely been the more malleable, more not necessarily like reactionary, but like sort of in terms of like listening to feedback and in a timely manner, sort of responding, being able to respond, and being flexible. They've definitely been the more flexible of sort of all three of these major companies, and it was
And
definitely
even more
refreshing.
proactive, I'll add to that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's definitely refreshing to see Sony, you know, being flexible for once, and saying, you know what, yeah, we it feels human, like a genuine human response from Jim and PlayStation, that like, hey, we definitely messed up with this, and we're
And
gonna change course correct immediately.
and even still, Nintendo's like, good for you. I'm not gonna do shit though. Good for you.
Well, that's Nintendo, man. They we know how they move.
You know how that,
Yeah.
yeah, how that be.
No,
This is
this, yeah, this made me sincerely happy to see this.
little tear.
Well, I was just worried just for, because, like I said, it was more about um, preserving your legacy and like highlighting what makes you you and so unique. And it really does start with like where you start and how you progressed. And the Vita and PS3 era were testaments to that, and PS2 as well. You know, the entire legacy, and that was all encapsulated in those stores. So to kind of shut them off and off, I don't know, it seemed not on a whim. Obviously, they had this in mind, but just out of nowhere, with like no warning to developers and gamers alike, just felt really disingenuous and like they didn't care. So I'm glad to see that they were listening, because not only told me that they were listening to fans, but they're also more like listening to the people that are developing games on those platforms, more mainly on Vita. And the fact that they were able to be like, okay, we'll keep it up and will do better from here on out. That gives me a lot more hope for their decision making when it comes to stuff like this and how they kind of treat their legacy titles.
Yeah, definitely.
This could not be, honestly, man. Even if you're gonna shut it down, give us a year to download like every game we want to download, and like tell developers you're gonna do it. Maybe they did, but it didn't seem like it. If anything, this proves that they may not talk much, but they're listening. They tend to listen here and there. Sometimes they put their pride to the side and they decided to go out on Twitter and be like, "Wait, what happened? I just woke up. I didn't do anything wrong." No, you did. You did nothing. That's exactly what happened. But I'm just glad that this is. I'm just happy for those devs, man. I'm happy for those consoles, and I'm happy for everyone that. Because truth is, the Vita, I believe, for some time was more popular than the PlayStation 4 in Japan. You know, this was previous gen, and this just shows that there's people that maybe don't even have a PlayStation 4, PS5, and they just have a Vita, or they still have their PS3. I have friends that they only have their PS3 and they cannot afford a 4 or a 5. They're in pretty like tight spaces, and a lot of the games that they usually get are like classics from PS1, PS2 era. So this makes me happy for both devs and the consumer, and I'm glad that it shows that Sony has humans behind the wheel and not just, corporate robots.
Yeah,
there's
for
something
sure.
there.
For sure, without a doubt.
There's something behind that,
Yeah, and again, like for me, like I'm gonna keep the same energy, man. That like this doesn't really like I don't want to say like affect me, but like I'm not I wasn't the one like championing for these things to remain open or whatever. But like I will say, yeah, like the dev stuff, how that was handled was messed up. But nonetheless, like I can recognize that yeah, this is important to a lot of people, and yeah, it should definitely remain open for those people. But at the same time, to the people who complained about this, you gotta support it now. You can't just be like, okay, now it's remaining open.
Like, oh, okay, good, bye.
Yeah, you guys gotta support it, or else they'll do the same thing next year. You know what I mean? They'll be like, well, you guys didn't support it, so we're gonna close it down. So you guys gotta support it then. If you put your money where your mouth is, basically.
Yep, I second that wholeheartedly. Buy your classic PS1s on there, man. Do it if you have a Vita or a PS3, just go for it. Pick up those awesome SquareSoft titles like Parasite Eve and Vagrant Story and the Final Fantasy stuff. Go and pick up Lammy Jammy, like the rhythm-based game
what did you just say?
It's called Lammy Jammy. Yeah, that's what it's called.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's a classic, man. It's like me and my sister used to play that all the time, which is like it was a really funky, characterized Parappa. I think it was before Parappa the Rapper or Parappa Rapper or something like that. I think it's before that one. It's literally called Jammer Lammy. That's what it's called.
Gotcha. Never heard.
Yeah, it's a classic, man. Again, it's funky in the way it controls, but the songs hit. They are awesome.
Yeah.
So go and check out those classic titles, man. Go on your Vita, pick up some great Vita titles and PSP stuff. The City is on there, so.
Oh, dude, I go. I just that's why I express my happiness and my excitement when they're gonna remain open, because reality is my PS3. We're in the process of going somewhere else in terms of a home, and my PS3 I still have it in a box because I don't have space to put it on because I only have my PS4 and my Xbox, and there's no more space here. I want to like engage on my PS3 again with so many titles, and my PS Vita I still use it for like old JRPG titles and the Ease games. Like I want to revisit those, and I want to visit ones that I never played. And same with the Persona games. I had Persona 1 there. I was going to download Persona 2. When this just happened, like they mentioned they were going to close down, I'm like, wait a minute, give me time. Let me download like every JRPG ever on PS Vita. But now I'm just happy that I'll be able to, I might even like buy a new Vita, because the Vita I have right now, I feel like it's struggling a bit, just a little bit. But they're too expensive. I checked on Amazon; they're like $300, $400, and nah, bro, no,
Yeah,
no.
man.
No, there's some really great stuff on there. So yeah, guys, please support it.
Yes, get a
There's-
Vita,
it's a-
guys.
Yeah, seriously, like whether you get an old one or like the latest one that has an LCD screen, just pick it up and go back on your PS3. That's what I did. I literally just went back on PS3, booted it up, downloaded all the updates, and I was just like kind of browsing through. And I even got a couple of PS3 games that I want to check out because my fiance's little brother wanted to get rid of all his PS3 games. I was like, I'll take them. And so I actually have like Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction in there, A Crack in Time, Infamous 2, like a whole bunch of other like really like great PS3 games that I
Yeah.
want to dive into.
Yeah, until PS5 decides to bring old games, support the old consoles. Because honestly, that's what they
Yeah.
need. They need to bring in 1, 2, 3, and Vita all the way here to PS5, and just why not? Just do it, please.
Yeah, I agree.
Please.
I really want that too. I want them to kind of just bring that whole library over just for convenience sake.
Yeah, for sure. Hell.
Yeah, definitely. Man, I miss the PSP, man. That's what I truly miss. I never got a Vita, but the PSP, man, I had a lot of great memories with that. So yeah, there's a part of me that's sad to see that being sunsetted off, but hey, man, it was only a matter of time.
Yeah, I mean it's all good though because a lot of those games are on like PS3 or on Vita to
Or Vita,
download. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
PSP is the only one of all of them that made the most sense because there is a Vita, there is a newer counterpart. But just the connection and nostalgia that we have with the PSP, that's what's gonna hurt. So having you know that's gonna spike up. Like once they shut down the PSP store, every like physical copy and all the collectors they're gonna go crazy. Like, oh hey, you want a PSP? You want some physical copies? I got them. I got Resident Evil Apocalypse on a disc for the PSP. I'm like, wait, I don't care. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I didn't realize that my copy of Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII was one of the rarer ones because it released with like original colored cover box or
Box
Yeah,
art.
yeah.
right now. Cover art. And then the one I have is like a metallic black and white. And I didn't realize that was a rare one, so I saw Gene's from lordsofgaming.net. I saw his article about like which games to pick up on your PSP. And he was like, "Yeah, that one goes for like at least over $100." I'm like, "What?"
Jeez.
Bro, I remember the God of War edition PSP, the red one. Oh my god,
Yeah,
That was
some good stuff, man.
so good. So
All right, so like let's end this podcast with I want to get your guys' opinion on this whole Jim Ryan thing. Do you guys think this week did like I don't want to be dramatic and say saved his image, but like did a little bit better in the narrative of him being like this devil or like the bane to society? You know what I mean? Do you think this did a little bit to like alleviate that sort of narrative that he has like not even any fault in his own, in my opinion, built up for himself, I guess, or that people have built up for him?
as the person that was very worried about what he might say or not, Macho, what do you think?
Like, do you feel any better about him after this week? Oh my, Macho. The fact that you had to think about that for so long.
Yikes.
Because it's like I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird because like I try not to really like hold these people up to like
Yeah.
like to like oh like he's an amazing guy like he's doing so good like I try not to really do that because I feel like it's kind of weird.
Yeah, but
Kind of
just
hold these
strictly
people up
just
to those-
strictly about like decisions. Like, I'm not asking you to be like how people hold up Phil Spencer. Like, oh man, he's such a great guy.
Gotcha.
I would
Yeah, well,
let
as
him
far
come
as
to
far
my
as like,
wedding.
well, yeah, like as far as like him like going more up front and like being like a more like I guess impressionable boss. Yeah, sure. Like I really like what I like that they're being more vocal. Again, it's not. They don't have to. That's the real takeaway from it. Like they don't have to do it. They can just keep doing what they're doing. But I like that they are. I like that he is a little more of like, hey, we're gonna say when we mess up and give you guys something to be excited about. I like that. I do think that they're doing a little more of a better job in terms of being vocal to their community, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more like a wait and see thing, like right. It's like when we were talking about before. At least what happened in the past news with like the whole studio thing with Days Gone and Studio Bend and Naughty Dog, right? It's more of like a wait and see approach and see like how they turn out the rest of the gen. I recently saw like a podcast actually where they had a Sony or a PlayStation employee on. It was kind of like explaining like how Jim Ryan kind of operates and how he's kind of like changing sort of like not the entire culture and mindset of PlayStation, but more just for it to be more inclusive and to have a more kind of like a silent but deadly kind of approach to like how they do their news and stuff like that. And so yeah, I think overall I'm a lot happier with like where they're at right now. I don't see I'm not gonna say let's fire the guy.
Yeah.
No.
Definitely.
I'd rather just be like, let's wait and see a couple of years, and then we can really kind of determine where we're gonna go from there, or like how we view this guy.
Yeah, that's completely fair. So, but yeah. Well, what about you? What do you think about this?
I mean, at the very least, yeah, give it give it a few, give it some time, let Gears, because it just so happens that when he got into that position, we were about to enter the next generation, and I'm not behind the scenes, but I assume there's a lot of moving parts to that, and there's only so much that you can do that will make everyone happy. You know what I mean? Like that will make. There are tough calls, and there's tough calls. I don't know what the man goes through every day. I'm glad some sort of like there we have something. That's all we need. Just say hey. Just tweet, hey, how's everyone doing? Oh, talk. And he's like, nope. Like, just give us something.
Yeah, that man don't have no Twitter.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
that man's not wasting his time unless he's a lurker.
His name is
He's got an alt account.
Watching numbers.
Yeah, he's liking all the PlayStation is better tweets like Sean Layden was.
Oh man.
When everybody wanted him back.
That was
no, shout to Sean Layden. That's not shade. Shout to Sean Layden though. He's taking his bag and he's running with it. I appreciate it, bro. You got a nice beer going on. Sean, we love you, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Love that dude.
You got that awesome God of War grandpa kind of look. I'm digging it, bro. You lost some weight too, I noticed.
Heck yeah, man.
Hey man, chill out. Chill out, man.
Nah, he did though. That dude's shaping up. He's been hitting the gym. He's in the internal gym, and I'm proud of him.
All right, man.
Alright,
I'll let you do you, man. Commenting on the poor man's weight. All right. I'll let you. I'm kidding.
But in reality, yeah. Honestly, we need more time. Everything needs to settle. I'm just hoping that this trend doesn't continue on in terms of like not being. I get it. It's a pandemic. There's honestly during pandemic, you can justify almost anything, and it'll be received with some moderate reception, positive reception, because there's struggles behind the scenes that we don't know of.
Man, I don't think so. But the gaming community is just more angry than ever, man. Like I've noticed it, man. Like have you guys taken the time to like go in the comment section of like any PlayStation tweet? It's just like it's just pure
I try
like
not to anymore.
Yeah, it's just numbing, dude.
Because it's disgusting. And that's the thing. Here's the thing. We here at DualShock Sense, we focus on that positive outlook. We treat all three companies equally, and we judge We try to be as fair as we can.
Microsoft can catch the smoke, man. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, man.
My man living in last gen still. This man still got an Xbox One S.
I'm kidding, man.
No, I mean, I do understand. I see that. It's absolutely, and that's why I just turn off Twitter. And I see people say that Sony's like the media darling, but I couldn't disagree more with that.
Yeah, man.
I honestly feel like Nintendo is a media darling in all these sense, but when it comes to whenever PlayStation or Xbox are moving, then they're gonna catch heat from both sides.
Yeah, and definitely it's the Bloomberg article, that alone, like.
Oh, you're botting, Jay. You're botting.
I am. Can you hear me now?
I mean, I can hear you. No, you good. I mean, maybe it's macho. I can hear you just well.
Okay.
Okay,
you know what? We're like towards the end of the podcast anyway, so let's just wrap it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to see if that changed. If this week did anything better for like his perception or anything like that, because I don't know, but I thought it was a great. I thought it was a great first. I don't even know if I would call it a first step, because I don't think the man has done anything wrong yet, but I think. I don't know. I like this week was great. I'll just say that. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. And as a final note to that, gotta realize the pandemic has made a lot of people just be inside so long that human interaction, they forgot what that's like, and they're just mad, and they just want to project that madness into other people. And honestly, you see so much toxicity online, but remember, guys, if people want to project their own insecurities and their own problems onto the world, that's them. Honestly, these companies, they're gonna keep doing their own. They're gonna do their thing. They're gonna make try to make the right calls and what they think are the right calls. People can be as toxic as they want, and they're not just towards the companies. They do it for reviewers. They do it for journalists. They do it for influencers. People are just mad, and honestly, Twitter ain't a psychiatry session. It ain't a therapy. People, if they want their problems to be taken care of, they should just be more introspective and deal with that on their own. But overall, it's been a great week. And if people disagree, then they should reevaluate what they think is right or wrong.
That was a really long-winded way of saying that these people are bums, basically.
Yeah. Because when you study psychology, you need to word what otherwise might be offensive into a more professional manner. So
that's just human decency, my man.
No, but you're not gonna go to like just someone, and if they get you mad, you might blow up on their face. But like if during therapy session the client is like being an ass, you won't go, "Oh, get out of my house, get out of my office." It's like, no, you still need to deal with that. So that's just nerves of steel that you need to have, which I sometimes lack because the internet is just awful. But yeah.
Yeah, man, we're Puerto Rican, we're hot-headed, so.
Yeah, whoa, chill out, man.
No.
All right, so let's. All right, man. We're gonna end the podcast, man. Thank you guys for watching, as always. And once again, go ahead and toss us a like if you feel so inclined to do so. Maybe consider subscribing as well. It will greatly help us out. Macho, what are you up to this week? What's going on, man?
Yeah, man, we're packing. Heading out of state for the next week to visit the baby nephew and my sister, and I'm really excited. That little guy is just so funny. But in terms of gaming, I'm gonna try my best to kind of tackle Gravity Rush 2 and Control, and maybe finish those games. And depending on how those reviews for Returnal go, maybe pick that up. I don't know. It's gonna be tough because I come back the beginning of May, and then that leads straight into Resident Evil 8, and then after Resident Evil 8, I have the Final Fantasy 14 patch, the final patch before the next expansion. So like, give or take, I don't know. I don't want to squeeze Returnal in there and just play it for like 4 or 5 days hardcore and then never touch it again. I want to enjoy it. So
yeah, definitely
see how that goes. But I'm looking forward to see what people say. I'm looking forward to You Say Soul.
Yeah, definitely.
on that stuff. But yeah, man, that's just gonna tackle those two. Then it's gonna be fun.
Nice. Walt, what about you, man?
Well, I'm nearing the stages of like actually sending furniture and stuff to our new place. So we're doing that. We're in the process of moving. Other than that, as time goes, I'll be gaming less because I'll have less stuff available because they'll be on their way to the new home. So what I have planned for now is to finish, if I can, start and finish both Revelations 1 and 2 for Resident Evil, and beat Resident Evil 3 because, these are all short games. Other than that, just play more Switch, play more JRPGs, and get back to Blasphemous. I need to beat that. I need to get back to that. But yeah.
Man, you mentioning Resident Evil really makes me want to go back into Resident Evil remake.
Do it.
Yeah, that's such a damn good game.
So amazing.
All right, man. And then as for me, gaming wise, probably finish up Infamous First Light. Probably can knock that out within the next few days. Dark Souls 3, gonna keep chipping away at that, man. I'm really just taking my time with it, man. I think I'm like 40, like close to 50 hours in it, which I don't think you're supposed to be taking that long with a Dark Souls game, but I'm usually pretty slow with them. So,
Yeah.
and article wise, I have a few ideas kicking around for a Horizon Zero Dawn, sort of like like the pitch is like it's sort of like how underrated or how the story, like the narrative in Zero Dawn doesn't get the respect that I think it truly deserves. So like I'm kind of like thinking about beginning that. I was actually going to start it yesterday, but Matcha, we ran into some issues that we won't talk about on this podcast.
Yeah, man. I was just telling Walt that I was like, I had some free time yesterday, and I was ready to just start going ham on it.
Yep.
Like, because it was starting to pack up, and I was like, hey, we gotta get to it.
Yeah.
And then it happened.
Yeah, so that happened. And then I also have God, what was the other? Oh yeah, and then I had a Ghost of Tsushima article in my mind that I've been waiting to write. That I don't know in what particular order I'm gonna tackle these in, because these articles that I do that are just like the gravity rush Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Gravity whoosh. Whoosh. Is that where they bring back the Gravity Rush series? They call it Gravity Whoosh.
Oh man.
That's how cat goes. That's how she does whenever she enters low gravity. She's like, whoosh.
Man, I fucking hope not, man. Man, that's how you know. That's how you know I'm ready to get out of here, man.
It's like one of those superheroes that makes their own sound effects.
Yeah.
If you're playing Star Wars, like you're sword fighting, you do the.
Hey man, once my speech starts failing like that, once I start talking like I'm drunk, that's how you know it's time to wrap it up, man. So yeah. So like
funny.
the articles like the Gravity Rush one, the Sly 2 article, and like the Assassin's Creed one that I did about it losing its identity. Those types of articles always take me such a long time to put together because they're like close to 2,000 word pieces, so they take forever to actually think about and put together. So like those two articles, the Horizon and Ghost, are in my mind shaping up to be similar to those. So like I don't know which one I want to do first because it's going to be a large time investment, but those, definitely look out for those because those are things that I'm planning to do in the near future. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me with things that I am planning to do. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for the podcast, man. Thanks for coming through and listening to us just ramble on and talk about some games, man. So yeah, as always, thanks, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Whoosh.
You're an asshole.